This is the situation after the first propaganda round in my solo game. I managed to avoid defeat as the government player, and I'm sitting on a very healthy 86 resources with my total support at 54. The FARC are at 19 opposition and bases and 15 resources. The AUC are sitting on only 2 resources with 3 bases out, and the cartels, who are my major threat at the moment, have 9 bases out and are sitting on a dangerous 41 resources. So going into the next round, certainly the cartels are going to have to be curtailed back a little bit. Just looking at the situation on the map, the government is in control of all the cities, but I have made absolutely no headway whatsoever into the rural part of Colombia, with the FARC having a strong presence in Julio Clima in the mountain area, and the AUC as well, and the AUC have got Antioquia Bolivar totally wrapped up at the moment. So the government are dominating the urban areas, but the countryside is rampant with guerrillas and drug dealers. So, coming up shortly as the Presidente, I will be looking at those cartels. That's the situation after the first propaganda round. This is the situation now at the end of the second propaganda round. The government are doing well. I'm currently in control of all the cities. Most are at active support, just a couple are down to passive support. And the government have made headroads into the mountains and the forests of Colombia. We've established bases in Choco, Cordoba and Narino, Galca, and we're making inroads into Santander. The FARC have taken total control of Julia, which is now a FARC zone, but they're pretty well spread out around the rest of the map. The overall scoring at the moment has the cartels as the biggest threat, with 7 bases out and 43 resources. The FARC have 28 resources, but their opposition and bases are down to a measly 11. And the AUC have 2 resources and 1 base out. So they are no threat whatsoever. I've been very fortunate in the first round with the fall of the cards, scoring nearly every resource card possible for the government, which gave me a very good economic basis to start with. So things are going pretty well for the government as we head into the third round. This is the situation at the end of the third propaganda round. The cartels are the strongest guerrilla faction with 10 bases out and 62 resources, followed by the FARC, who are on 65 resources and have a total of 14 opposition plus bases. The AUC are languishing on 3 resources and have 2 bases out. So my threat at the moment is still the cartels. I'm on 33 resources as the government, and support's at 49. I'm holding on to my grip in the cities, but the cartels are infiltrating everywhere across the map, and they're having a real crack at Bogota at the moment. But they are spread out all around Colombia. The AUC have only made headway in the grasslands of Vichada, but otherwise they're no threat at the moment. So that's the situation at the end of the third propaganda round. It's going to be a battle here to keep the cartels out, I think, in this fourth round. So here we go. It's it's the end of the final propaganda round, and the government is popular, and insurgent power is palpably reduced. There's improved security, which is leading to economic growth in Colombia, and stability is in sight. The government has managed to stave off all guerrilla activities and has come out with a leading margin of 4. Government resources ended on 60, so 60 minus 60 is 0. The FARC ended up on 12 opposition plus bases, plus their 8 bases out, gave them 20 minus 25. They ended up on minus 5, 5 below the government. AUC ended up with a minus 5 score, 3 from 8 in regards to their bases. And the cartels, the biggest threat throughout the game, took the lower of their resources or bases and ended up with 6 bases out, minus 10, which was a margin of minus 4. So I just managed to scrape into the coin progress victory status, and looking at the map, the government continued to lock down all the cities and had the 2 forest departments of Choco, Cordoba and Narino, Cauca locked up for most of the match, but over the rest of the board it was fairly evenly spread. I think I could have been more aggressive in rallying in other departments, which would have given me a better chance of getting a higher score. But I have to say I'm pleased with that result. The cartels were a real threat, and I felt I really was lucky in some of my card draws that gave me significant resources early on, and some key card draws right at the end of the game enabled me to pull the cartels back at the last moment. So, the government have prevailed.